Security.
Homeland Security making arrests of ICE protesters with guns, and Darren Bailey seeking a rematch with Governor J.B. Pritzker. That's what we're going to be talking about this Monday morning, live with you on the Center Square with Illinois in Focus Daily. You can wake up with us each and every weekday morning and tune in to what's going on in your state and how the land of Lincoln is operating. Of course, we have the centersquare.com where you can get all of these headlines and more. Just go to the centersquare.com. You'll be able to sign up for the newsletter and get that list of headlines in your inbox each and every weekday morning. You can also donate. We're a nonprofit newswire service, so your donations definitely will help us out. But get those headlines in your inbox, but don't forget you can wake up with us each and every weekday morning here for Illinois in Focus Daily. Took Friday off just to take a breather, but it gives us plenty to talk about today, and we're going to have plenty to tackle this week, especially with the ongoing strife in Broadview, Illinois, where there's an ICE facility that's been the subject of some protests and increased federal agents on the ground, including video being shared widely on social media of federal agents walking up and down certain streets in Chicago. So we'll tackle that coming up here. We'll also share with you some of the comments that were made during the Bailey kickoff events last week on Thursday. You had Darren Bailey, former state representative, former state senator, 2022 Republican gubernatorial candidate, make his announcement. He's officially in the race. It's interesting to see some of the candidates that there are at this point, and especially when it comes to the finances as well. So we'll talk about that here with Illinois in Focus Daily. Again, each and every weekday morning, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us here with Illinois in Focus Daily. The Department of Homeland Security announcing they arrested ICE protesters outside the Broadview, Illinois facility just outside of Chicago with firearms in their possession and investigating possible explosive devices. This comes days after a deadly incident where a sniper shot and killed people in Texas outside of an ICE facility. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, editor of Illinois for the Center Square. You can go to thecentersquare.com for the latest headlines. But let's go to X, where you've got the Department of Homeland Security posting this. Arrests being made. 11 violent rioters were arrested in Chicago outside the ICE detention facility. These are 2 guns that were taken off rioters in Chicago against the fence at our ICE detention facility. An investigation's underway into what appears to be some sort of explosive device found last night near the ICE detention facility. Again, you can see that posted on X, and the videos are pretty abundant as well. People blocking ICE vehicles, federal vehicles. They're impeding federal immigration enforcement. Tons of other videos as well. But you had Attorney General Pam Bondi share this message, especially after a slew of other incidents of protesters clashing with federal law enforcement.
Political violence. Assassins have tried to murder President Trump twice and tried to kill Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. In Minnesota, legislators and even children attending Mass were gunned down in cold blood in 2 separate incidents. And an assassin targeted and murdered our friend Charlie Kirk. A sniper shot 3 people at a Texas ICE facility, and now more than 200 violent rioters were at a Chicago ICE facility chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE," At least one had a gun. We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally, not in some liberal state court. Same goes for anyone who's funding and aiding these extremists. You will be dismantled brick by brick. We are taking our country back. Make America safe again.
So again, that's Attorney General Pam Bondi with a message she shared on X after, again, a slew of videos showing a whole host of activities of ICE protests. Again, you've got just images also of federal agents walking down the streets of Chicago. And we'll get to some of the comments from Governor J.B. Pritzker here in a moment. But as you see here, people taking video saying that Chicago is being visited by federal agents, not just in Chicago, too, also in Portland. You've got increased federal agents as well. But some of the things that they're doing here, ICE is, reporting out who they're arresting. They posted recently that they arrested Jean Carlos Arenda Gonzalez, a criminal alien from Colombia, convicted of larceny with arrests for drug trafficking, resisting an officer, and traffic offenses. So that illegal alien is in custody and will be processed. And again, you've got the increased enforcement because of what happened down in Texas at an ICE facility with federal agents on top of the Broadview facility saying rioters will not deter ICE from its law enforcement mission. All those assaulting or obstructing will be held accountable, full stop. And ICE also posting that several officers that were traveling from I believe Colorado, Denver, they stopped and assisted somebody on the highway after an accident on their way to the Broadview facility. So interesting to see them sharing that as well. So let's get to some of the statements that Governor J.B. Pritzker made in regards to the increased enforcement efforts of federal law. The Trump administration merely says that they are enforcing immigration law, and it's impeding their efforts when protesters are blocking roadways. And remember, why are there increased street-level ICE enforcement? The administration says that because Chicago's a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, they're not cooperating with federal immigration officials at, say, county jails, where they may pick somebody up for an alleged criminal infraction, and then they find out that that individual is here illegally. Typically, they would report to ICE and say, hey, we've got this guy in our jail. After he's processed, come grab him. But Illinois law changed that to where local and state police can't cooperate with federal immigration officials. They can't even ask anybody they encounter their immigration status, which makes it difficult to determine if that individual is here illegally. So, again, that's what ICE is saying, and that's what the Trump administration is saying. They're increasing street presence to enforce federal immigration law because they're not getting assistance from the city of Chicago, from the state of Illinois. And Governor J.B. Pritzker posting this on X. Donald Trump's not concerned about safety, only about inciting fear and creating chaos. Federal officers must follow the law in Illinois and respect constitutional rights to peaceful assembly without the fear of intimidation and physical harm. What is considered peaceful is standing in front of federal vehicles on public roadways, impeding their ability to do their job to enforce federal law. Is that peaceful? The governor also had this somewhat lengthy post of X posts. The state of Illinois is closely monitoring the federal deployments in the village of Broadview. Public safety is always top of mind, and the state of Illinois and state police remains in close communication with the Broadview Police Department to monitor and maintain public safety. Whether it's be Broadview here in Illinois or in Portland, Oregon, the Trump administration is intentionally creating chaos to threaten sending military troops to American cities and suburbs. The suggestion that chemical agents like tear gas or pepper spray could be used indiscriminately against peaceful demonstrators or even first responders is unacceptable and not normal. Illinois will always defend Americans' rights to peacefully protest and make their voices heard. We denounce any violence against the general public, members of the media, and law enforcement or first responders. Even when the Trump administration doesn't follow the law, we will, Pritzker said. I urge members of the public to remain calm, stay safe, and document what you see with your phones and cameras. My senior team has also asked legal organizations to support monitoring on the ground. By observing and recording peacefully, we can ensure that any violations of law are brought to light to those responsible and held accountable. So again, the governor, making statements that peaceful protest, document what you see. Critical of the Trump administration, saying he's just wanting to incite fear and chaos so he can call in the National Guard. But when you look at some of the videos, it's people in the streets blocking traffic. And then you had a dearth of federal agents go out onto the streets, pushing people off of the streets and getting them to move along. And when they don't, they're impeding federal law enforcement. So obstructing federal law enforcement, going after immigration violations on the streets. How this is going to continue to play out, we're going to hear a lot more this afternoon. Governor J.B. Pritzker has a news event scheduled, and I believe the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, the ICIRR, they also plan a news conference this afternoon, where they're going to be talking about what's going on in Broadview. We'll definitely bring that to you here with Illinois in Focus Daily as we get the latest on this ongoing story. But you've got people like Congresswoman Mary Miller, who is attempting to block ICE agents and then bragging about it online. Doesn't make you a hero, it makes you a criminal. And you've got others that are sounding off on this as well. And again, you'll hear a lot more with Governor J.B. Pritzker this afternoon responding in front of news cameras to the ongoing situation unfolding in Illinois, in Broadview in particular, with increased federal immigration efforts trying to enforce immigration law. So be with us tomorrow as we give you what the governor has to say about all of this. All right, we've got a lot to tackle here with Illinois in Focus each and every weekday morning. So make it, appointment listening or viewing, however you want to tackle it. It's right here with the Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily.
This governor's reckless green-only agenda is driving up costs. It's killing jobs. It's shutting down opportunity. Friends, when I'm governor, that is all going to change.
It's Darren Bailey Thursday night in front of a crowd talking about his candidacy for governor. It is Illinois in Focus Daily with the Center Square. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning here for Illinois in Focus Daily. Darren Bailey looking for a rematch with Pritzker. Bailey was a state representative back in 2019. He then ran for Illinois Senate, where he won. And then after that, all throughout COVID, he decided to run for governor in 2022, getting the Republican nomination after President Donald Trump. In an interview that I had with President Donald Trump back in 2022, President Trump was coming to Illinois to endorse Mary Miller, but I was able to snag a brief interview with the former president at that time and asked him a series of questions about why come to Illinois, why support Mary Miller, even asked him about, at the time, the January 6th Select Committee wanting to depose Trump and bring him in front of the committee and such. But I also asked the president back then in 2022, hey, are you looking at the governor candidates? Because it was before the primary. And the president at that time came out and said that he likes Darren Bailey. And then when the president was in Illinois, big, huge rally out in the middle of a farm field, and he did indeed endorse Darren Bailey. So we were able to break some news with the Center Square back in 2022, talking with President Donald Trump by phone before he arrived in Illinois. But that's kind of the background of Bailey. He's a farmer. He's an educator. Helps manage a school, I believe. An ardent Second Amendment supporter. Somebody who was regularly critical of Illinois' economic environment, the educational environment, the safety environment, and all of those things compiled into what is Bailey's platform. But Bailey also is with his running mate, Aaron Delmar, who's been involved in Republican Party politics for years. And here's Delmar talking a bit about why they're getting into this race.
We relaunched it for Bailey Delmar for Illinois earlier today. 6 hours ago, we launched it. And so far, we've received over 2,000 signups for volunteers across the state. These aren't people that were registered before. This is on the brand new site they heard the call across Illinois. Over 2,000 and growing. I'm excited about that because I know it's not just the amazing people in this room, it's everyone at home watching us in the live stream and everyone in Illinois that wants to be a part of this movement.
So Delmar talking about the different types of, differences of opinion that he and Darren Bailey had, but they put all that aside.
And to be honest, I'm a little surprised to be here as well. After all, Darren and I haven't always stood on the same side of every issue. We've had our differences, we've debated, we've challenged, and we disagreed, both publicly and a lot more privately. But you know what? That is what exactly makes this moment so powerful. That's right! You see, Illinois is at a crossroads, and at this critical moment, what we don't need is more division, more grandstanding, and more politicians trying to shout past each other. What we need are leaders who are serious about solving problems and willing to work together to do it. And that's why I'm standing with Darren Bailey. Because while we haven't always agreed, we've come to understand something important. If we want to defeat J.B. Pritzker and take this state back for the people, we have to stand together. You see, this isn't about pride. It's not about ego. It's about giving Illinois the strongest, most unified ticket to take on the entrenched political machine and win.
So, Aaron Delmar, the lieutenant governor candidate for Darren Bailey. Again, we're still in the primary process, and we don't even have the official filings from these candidates into the Illinois State Board of Elections, and there could be multiple Republican candidates, probably 4 at this point. So, Bailey, obviously coming back after losing to Pritzker in 2022, wanting a rematch in 2026. Delmar, the lieutenant governor candidate running with Bailey, he laid out what the Bailey-Delmar platform is going to be.
Affordability. That's right. Everywhere I go, from Chicago to Carbondale to Sangamon County to Vermilion, I hear the same thing. Aaron, it is getting harder and harder for us to make our ends meet. And they're right. Illinois families are being crushed by high taxes, rising costs, and a state government that seems more focused on spending than they are on saving. That's right. Under J.B. Pritzker and the Chicago Democrats, taxes have gone up and up and up. Taxes on gas, gases on groceries, property, paychecks, squeezing the middle class, punishing the regular guy who's just trying to get by. That's right. We have some of the highest taxes in the nation, and working people are asked to carry for a burden they did not create. That's right. This has to change.
So Delmar laying out again the pillars, the policy issues that the Bailey-Delmar ticket is going to focus on, and another one was crime.
Crime is out of control, and nowhere is that more obvious than in Chicago. Over Labor Day weekend alone, just that weekend, 54 people were shot. 54 in one American city. That is not just a statistic, that is a tragedy. That is families torn apart, lives shattered, and a city living in fear. Under Brandon Johnson, criminals are treated like VIPs. No bond, no court, no consequences. Meanwhile, law-abiding citizens like us are left wondering, is the system broken or just broken for us? Last week, he said jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safer communities. Well, that's because we don't have enough of them. Whether you live in Chicago, Decatur, or a small town downstate, every Illinoisan deserves the same thing, to feel safe in their home, their neighborhood, and their community.
You went on to talk about safety just in more kind of general terms about standing with law enforcement.
Darren and I will always back the blue. We'll ensure our officers have the resources, the training, and the respect that they deserve. And we will put an end to the revolving door justice system that is failing our communities and emboldening repeat offenders.
Another part of their platform, of course, affordability, public safety, and then education.
The access to quality education for every child. Every child in Illinois, no matter the zip code, the income, the background, deserves a chance to learn, to grow, and to succeed. But right now, that promise has been broken. Too many of our schools are underfunded, our teachers are overworked, and our students are underprepared for the future. And it is not fair, and it is not acceptable. Education shouldn't be political. It should be personal. It's about giving every student the tools they need to chase their dreams, whether it's college, the military, a trade school, starting another business, or going directly into the workforce. That is why Darren and I will fight to ensure that education funding is fair and transparent. We will expand school choice and homeschooling options. And we are here to empower every parent to make the best decision for their children.
So Del Mar, as the lieutenant governor candidate, surely he's going to act as a surrogate for Bailey as they tour the state over the next few months. But Bailey also there at that event and laying out some of his introduction to this campaign.
Illinois cannot survive another 4 years under this failed governor. Our families cannot afford it. Our freedoms cannot endure it. That's why tonight, right here, right now, I am announcing that I am running for the governor of Illinois.
So Bailey looking for that rematch between himself and Governor J.B. Pritzker. And he talked about one of the platform issues being public safety.
J.B. Pritzker's made it worse by siding with criminals instead of victims. Just recently, a man who stood next to him at a peacekeeper event was arrested days later for a violent smash and grab at Louis Vuitton that ended in a deadly crash, killing a young father on his way to work. Yes. Instead of standing with victims and law enforcement, JB stands shoulder to shoulder with criminals. That ends when I'm governor. I will stand with law enforcement. I will protect victims. And I will fight every day to keep your family safe.
Darren went on to criticize Governor J.B. Pritzker for a whole host of issues.
While he's busy hobnobbing with elites and chasing White House dreams, working families across our state are being crushed by the highest taxes in the nation. No one should be paying more in their property taxes than they do in their mortgage. But guess what? Countless families are.
And property tax is obviously a huge issue, not just for families, for farmers, for small businesses, and the like. And it's something that Illinois now is the top state for property taxes and a whole host of other taxation that Illinoisans pay. Highest gas taxes in the region, I think second highest in the country. Overall combined taxation among the highest in the country. And the state spending more and more and more under Governor J.B. Pritzker. You've got Bailey, who continued his criticism of the governor, saying he's reckless.
This governor's reckless green-only agenda is driving up cost. It's killing jobs. It's shutting down opportunity. Friends, when I'm governor, that is all going to change. We will cut property taxes. We will rein in reckless spending. And we will pursue an all-of-the-above energy strategy: coal, oil, gas, nuclear, and renewables.
And Bailey went on to talk about the business environment and how he wants to make sure businesses can operate freely in the state of Illinois.
I will cut through the red tape that is strangling small business all over this state. I will create a task force of former ICE, DEA, and experienced prosecutors to get the drugs, gangs, and the violent criminals off our streets once and for all.
One big issue in this race, as it was in 2022 and as it was in 2018, is money. Governor J.B. Pritzker, a billionaire with $3.5+ billion that we know of, not sure about his offshore accounts, but the governor self-financing his campaign. If you look at Illinois Sunshine, which is run by Reform for Illinois, it's a campaign finance website. You can also find this similar data at the Illinois State Board of Elections, but JB for Governor, the candidate committee, has $2.4 million on hand. Again, the governor mostly self-financed his campaigns, and if you look down at the total that he's given himself, $348 million. All right, that's the total that JB Pritzker has given himself, $348 million in campaign funds. Darren Bailey saying that money is not necessarily what's going to win this race.
Let's be honest. We will not outspend J.B. Pritzker. He's a trust fund billionaire. But guess what? Money can't buy heart. Money can't buy grit. Money cannot buy the determination of a people who love their state and refuse to lose it. We will outwork him, we will outfight him, and we will outlast him. That's right.
So Bailey officially launching his campaign, looking for that rematch with Governor J.B. Pritzker, but we've got a primary we've got to get through. The primary is in March, and again, we don't know the official list of candidates that are going to be running for the Republican ticket for Illinois governor. We'll find that out sometime in the first week of November, after the filing period starts at the end of December, at the end of October, and all of the various objections that we fully anticipate are going to be put up against a whole host of candidates from across the state. I mean, because it's not just governor, you've got state rep, state senate, you've got comptroller and treasurer and attorney general and secretary of state, all elected offices up for grabs. I believe also local county sheriffs are going to be on the ballot as well. So you've got a long ticket coming up in 2026 in November that you're going to have to select from. But if you're a primary voter, you're definitely going to have a choice in the Republican ticket, as Bailey is now announcing, but you have others that have announced as well. Ted Dabrowski. You've got DuPage County Sheriff Jim Mendrick, who announced way back in April that he was running for governor. But let's just look at some of those names in as much as how they have raised money so far. Again, we looked at Governor Pritzker's campaign account. He's given himself almost $350 million since 2018. As of right now, he's got $2.4 million cash on hand, according to Illinois Sunshine. But let's look at Darren Bailey's account here. All right, so you've got Bailey for Illinois. It's got $2,800. Now, this is not necessarily the most updated data, but it still gives you kind of a sense. And debts and obligations, $316,000. Now, if you look down here, you'll see that Richard Uline from the company Uline, he gave Bailey $12 million back in 2022 before the election. It was a big, big donation. So $12 million going to Bailey back in 2022 from Richard Uline. But as others have noted, according to the official campaign finance website, the Illinois State Board of Elections, gubernatorial candidate Ted Dabrowski getting $250,000 from Richard Uline. So is Uline the kingmaker here for Republican politics with that $250,000 cash infusion into Ted Dabrowski's campaign? Again, Dabrowski announced not last week, the week before, And he held a campaign event talking about his platform. Dabrowski, formerly from the Illinois Policy Institute as a economic analysis. He also is an analyst for WirePoints and was the president there, but now he is running for Illinois governor, but he's looking to get that that nomination first. So how much money does Ted Dabrowski have on hand? Not counting the Richard Uline donation of $250,000. If you go to Ted for Illinois with the Reform for Illinois website, Ted's got $1.2 million cash on hand already starting here in the primary, and you can see some of the donors there as well. So you've got Jim Mindrick. He's got $112,000 cash on hand, $800 in debts and obligations. So the money is, going to be important to watch here, especially as you see some of those big financiers and who they're going to support to take on Governor J.B. Pritzker, a billionaire who's given himself $350 million just in the past 7 years for politics. Keep it with us here with Illinois in Focus Daily, and we'll continue to break this down for you each and every weekday morning here. I'm Greg Bishop. Thank you so much for joining us, and get the headlines in your inbox at thecentersquare.com. All right, make it happen, guys. Every weekday morning here for Illinois in Focus Daily. Had a good weekend, relaxing, enjoying this incredible weather. It's been nice to just sit outside, and it's getting into that area of being able to get the backyard fire going and just relaxing, maybe with a nice cocktail and a cigar, and good conversation. So it's that time of year to take full advantage of it. Can't believe we're knocking on October. Holy cow. Wake me up when September ends, I guess. Which is just going to be around the corner. Again, a lot we're going to cover today and bring to you tomorrow morning. You've got Governor J.B. Pritzker. He's got a news conference. You've got several other immigrant and refugee groups that are going to be condemning the increased federal law enforcement efforts. And obviously, we'll get reaction to all of that from others as we see this story continue to unfold bit by bit, and how it's going to cost you, the taxpayer. Obviously, with the increased funding for ICE, you've got the increased funding for federal officials being on the ground. And are we going to see the National Guard in Illinois because of the ongoing protests, which again have been somewhat violent in Chicago area of Broadview? How's that going to play out? So we'll see what the president has to say as well throughout the day. Bring it to you here with the Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily. Have a great day. Back at it for Monday here with the Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily. Have a great day, guys. See you back here tomorrow.
Take